Ian Murray.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and it's a great pleasure to follow the honourable gentleman's buttocks. I'm very... First time he's heard that as well, I think. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, Madam Deputy Speaker, to pass on my condolences to the royal family, but also to pay a tribute to Her late Majesty the Queen on behalf of my own family, constituents in Edinburgh South, and from people all over her beloved Scotland. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth was a mother, a grandmother and a great-grandmother to her own family, but she was also the mother, grandmother and great-grandmother to the nation. We will all remember where we were when we learnt of her death yesterday. We will always remember that it was in Scotland where she spent her last weeks and days, and as we've heard already, she loved being in Scotland, and particularly the Balmoral estate, the tranquillity, the great outdoors and the complete absence of any speed limits. The Queen loved Scotland, and Scotland loved the Queen. The ties between Scotland and our longest reigning monarch are plentiful. From her very first public speech as a young princess in Aberdeen at the opening of the British Sailor Society, and the yarn of her wedding dress being woven in Scotland, to her Royal Yacht Britannia being built on the Clyde and retired to the Forth, the opening of the first Forth Bridge and the second one 53 years later, and she always looked forward to the Royal Week in Edinburgh each year. Scotland was, as she described it, her special place. She said at the opening of the Scottish Parliament in 1999 that, and I quote, "If I may make a personal point, Scotland occupies such a special place in my own and my family's affections." I remember my own childhood, the traditions which revolved around Her late Majesty. Every Christmas she was part of our family, as much as the rituals of the tree and the turkey was every generation of our family crowded round the television for her 3 o'clock Christmas address. She transcended every generation, all the way to my 2-year-old daughter, who now knows who that was drinking tea with Paddington. I've yet to explain to Zola that Paddington's friend has passed away. Over the last 24 hours, I've tried and struggled to find the language to describe her. But the one word that a constituent said to me late last night was iconic. And she's the very definition of iconic. She was in every pound I ever spent, admittedly fewer than many others, because I'm a Scot, in every letter that I've ever sent. Her name is on dozens of plaques and buildings all over my constituency and tens of thousands all over the country. She embodied what it means to be British. She epitomised public duty, decency and dignity. She picked us up when we were down. And when our grandchildren and their grandchildren look back at this time, it will be Elizabeth II, above all else, they will remember as the thread through every part of our post-war history. She was truly our greatest monarch. I'd love to tell a humorous anecdote, and I hope someone else will tell it, about the visit to Balmoral that she had with Dick Griffin, one of our former protection officers, but, Madam Deputy Speaker, there's no time to do that, but someone else may tell that shortly. I never met Her Majesty, but we all think we did, because she was such an integral part and influence on our lives. And everyone thinks they did meet her, because anyone that did never stops telling you. That's the impact that she had on each of their lives. Finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, I can only imagine the pain and grief the royal family are having today, and that pain and grief compounded by the duty that King Charles III now has to lead this nation. I, the people of Edinburgh South and the people of Scotland simply say, thank you for everything, ma'am. Rest in peace, and God save the King.